Hello, and welcome to J.M. Cope's Jobsite Safety Orientation. Over the next few minutes, you will be briefed on the basic safety rules that you are required to follow while on site. J.M. Cope's rules are nothing more than OSHA standards as outlined in the 1926 manual, latest revision, September 23, 2017. Every member of the management team signed a commitment to safety as you see in front of you. A copy of this commitment to safety will be on hand at every job site. As a member of the J.M. Cope management team, we have committed to making safety the #1 priority at all times, no exceptions. Each new employee or subcontractor will complete a safety orientation before being allowed on site. As managers, we will open every meeting with a safety-focused message. We will support, implement, comply, and enforce all J.M. Cope safety policies and procedures. We will hold accountable all employees reporting to us for implementing, complying with, and enforcing all J.M. Cope safety policies and procedures. We will support all employees that exercise their stop work authority and ensure hazards are eliminated, controlled, or abated before they resume work. We will allocate time and funding for employees to complete required safety training. We will allocate funding for all necessary PPE and ensure it's available when needed. We will require all employees, including us, to wear hard hats, high visibility attire, and other required PPE as needed in areas of job site. We will make an effort to participate in at least one toolbox talk each month on a project. We will ensure that each superintendent performs their daily reports. We will ensure that our employees are provided with a drug-free workplace. Every employee has a stop work authority. What does that mean to you? Any person from J.M. Cope, whether it be the owner and president or a laborer, can stop you if they find you doing something deemed to be unsafe or outside of or under the standard of J.M. Cope's safety regulations. J.M. Cope is a drug-free work zone. No drugs or alcohol are allowed on any J.M. Cope job site or office. If it is suspected that an employee of a subcontractor is intoxicated or otherwise impaired, they will be subject to an immediate drug test. If the employee or subcontractor fails the drug test, they will be removed from that site for a minimum of 30 days and up to permanent removal. If the employee passes the drug test, J.M. Cope will reimburse that employee or subcontractor for lost time and the cost of the test. PPE, what is required? Hard hats. Hard hats are required when there is a possible danger of head injury from impact, falling objects, or electrocutions, burns, anywhere on the job site. Any J.M. Cope superintendent has the right to enforce 100% hard hats at all times if he deems necessary. If there is one area on the job site that requires a hard hat, the entire job site will be required to wear them. Construction colored or high visibility attire will be required at all times. Work boots are required at all times. Construction colored or high visibility are required at all times. High visibility are required when operating major pieces of equipment or when working around major pieces of equipment. Construction colored shirts or jackets or high visibility shirts or jackets are required as a surface layer at all times. If you are operating a piece of equipment or working around a piece of equipment, you are required to wear high visibility. PPE continued. Work gloves. Work gloves. Select appropriate hand protection when hands are exposed to hazards, such as those from skin absorption from harmful substances, severe cuts or lacerations, severe abrasions, punctures, chemical burns, thermal burns, and harmful temperature extremes. On the screen, you'll see examples of the types of gloves that may be required per what you are doing. Face and eye protection. Face and eye protection are required when workers are exposed to eye or face hazards such as flying objects, molten metal, liquid chemicals, acids or caustic liquids, chemical gases or vapors, or potentially injurious light radiation. Fall protection. JM Cope requires that you wear fall protection when anyone on site is exposed to working around a potential free fall greater than 6 feet. Working on a boom lift, you must also wear fall protection when operating the equipment that requires it per OSHA. Fall protection may be required on a ladder if working above the 6th rung of the ladder. Ladder safety. Individual must be tied off if working from the 6th rung of the ladder or higher. Extension ladders must extend 3 feet past the roof and be tied off at the top. All extension ladders must utilize the 4-to-1 angle when laying across the roof. All ladders must be fully serviceable and free of any visible defects. For example, a bent foot, a cracked step, or a missing screw or bolt. All ladders must have the proper weight rating sticker as required by OSHA. For example, 225 pounds, 275 pounds, or 300 pounds. Color coding will not suffice as a weight rating, as these colors differentiate between ladder manufacturers. All ladders must be used for their design intent. To use an A-frame ladder, it must be opened and spread to its full extension and may not rest on a wall. You cannot stand on the top 2 steps or platform of an A-frame ladder. Extension ladders may not be used as scaffolding or walkboards. Equipment. To operate any equipment on a JM Cope site, an individual must be able to provide proof of training to the site superintendent upon request. This is including but not limited to scissor lifts, boom lifts, all excavation equipment, all sizes of cranes. All equipment must be inspected each day prior to use, and those inspections must be available upon request by the site superintendent. Scaffolding. Scaffolding must be assembled by a scaffolding competent person. Proof of competency must be available upon request from site superintendent. Scaffolding is to be inspected daily with proof of inspection available upon request and on display on scaffolding. Lockout tagout. Lockout tagout is required when working on any source of hazardous energy so that the energy is isolated and rendered inoperative. Proper arc flash PPE is required if lockout tagout is not possible. Guardrails must be in place where there is a potential fall from a ledge or hole. Top edge height of top rails shall be 42 inches plus or minus 3 inches above the working level. All guardrails must be able to hold a minimum of 225 pounds of force. Trenching. Shoring is required when the excavation depth goes below 4 feet. There will be different types of soil when you are excavating. Please reference 1926 for the types of soil and standards that apply to your operation. 2 means of exit are required at all times if working inside a trench. Individual working inside a trench must have a lifeline extended above the top of the working surface. Rebar. Rebar caps are required for all vertical rebar, no matter the height. Gloves are required when handling rebar, no exceptions. Silica. JM Cope sites are dust-free. When controlling silica dust, please use one of the OSHA-approved standards of control, whether it be by water or vacuum-powered tools. Crane operations. When any crane, no matter the size, is on site and performing any type of work, a load plan must be submitted prior to any operation. Certified rigger. Subcontractors must provide a certified rigger on site and fully involved with operations of the crane from start to finish. Subcontractors must set up a barrier around the swing radius of the crane before operation starts and not take it down until crane is broken down. Daily operations. At the beginning of each day, each subcontractor is required to turn in a job hazard analysis, or JHA, before the start of work. That JHA will outline the work to be performed that day and any safety protocols that are in place. The JHA will also have a head count and be signed off on by the subcontractor's team. Work cannot start until both operations are complete. At the main entry of each JM Cope job site, we will have a safety board posted with the major hazards of the day. That board also has the job site address, the closest hospital, the job site superintendent's contact information, and any applicable emergency numbers. Emergencies other than first aid. If there's an incident that requires anything more than first aid, immediately call 911. Please reference the Job Site Safety Board for the job site address. Alert the superintendent. Do not disturb the area where the injury or incident occurred. The job will be on lockdown, and no person will be allowed to work, leave, or enter the site until the superintendent permits. Identification. If you are working on any J.M. Cope site, you must have a J.M. Cope safety hard hat sticker displayed with your assigned number clearly visible. You will receive your sticker at the end of this video. Failure to comply with any J.M. Cope safety regulations can result in up to permanent removal from all J.M. Cope sites.